the commissioner in school, grammar school, then the court of mark young girl into. So this is another reason why I take the stand why I take, because if people are not paying their fees, they need for that's why I hold them to. But in terms of examination malpractice itself, the one the way they allege, say they get problem with examination practice, it constitutes something like 326, when at 0.2%. So I really want Bola to just understand this context, because for the last couple of days, we don't spend time to talk about all of these things. When you look at really not a huge problem that we get right now for NPSC. But sometimes because people don't understand and think say that 1,900, all them became adult spy. That's not true. Now only 0.2% when at 326. Now the one in the nine accounts for the alleged.
Minister, you 5 minutes on done, but the 2 minutes we minister be left at the queue, so you can use that.
So I think in terms of waiting at the measure that we will take at the ministry, I just want to itemize a couple of things that really come on board very quickly. First of all, we get a white bill. The last white bill will begin to be 1984. So we get a new white bill now. We will criminalize some of the things that really happen now with system. The second thing also we want to do, we want to also get a civic education and campaign that is taken into consideration that this examination malpractice not to one person. There is a demand, there is a supply. Somebody willing to pay for make somebody commit malpractice. For some of them, people who get so at them primary school, some of them are then teacher themselves. Now then they help them. So not to the beginning just get the agency for go see and spy. The third thing is I really want to make sure say this now a whole country approach. So we will really need for sign and communicate with all the relevant partners. So we all agree say we will put an end to this.
would they expect, say, when the school they don't satisfy these continuous assessment scores, you go eventually release the results?
So
So
they begin release now.
and
Other distinction. So we don't release about 1,100 to 200, I think.
of the 1,600.
Of the 1,000, there were about 5 schools that will be left. Out of that 61 days, there were 4 schools we get duplicate code, so the results could all they already don't receive the results. So sometimes when you see absences, then one they go still constitute absent because they back now another code.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm glad the way you close out because I want to bring the People's Commissioner into the conversation. Whether na 100 o, but at MPSC, the idea say exam malpractice day at MPSC for the chilling to we all. Recently, you take the extraordinary step for bringing the military for ensure the integrity of Beke exams. WASC, not to for talk. Every year, plenty reports of widespread malpractice. And by the way, when it comes to Professor, Minister of Higher Education there, the universities, malpractice, plenty. And Minister Hints just no say, the teacher there, the hand and candidate allowance, the parents there, the hand and candidate. I'll move the conversation to integrity when it comes to public or exams in general within the education system. Commissioner Kaifala, you don't spend a lot of time thinking about this, and you get the distinction for being responsible for encouraging you all for living a life of integrity in Sierra waiting your prescription. First, maybe you can give me if I can push you for giving your analysis of waiting the drive malpractice, and then provide some solutions for you inside 5 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Inside 5 minutes. All right. Of course, examination malpractice are something we all are aware. Don't play the educational sector for a long time. When I say a long time, it really a long time. So not to think we start today. And we, the commission, when we become commissioner, I can always say, and we ever think, say, one of the things we are for every worry about in terms of integrity, for concern, examination malpractice. But then, when I get to the commission back in 2018, by 2019, I was genuinely shocked at what I saw. The intensity, the undermine of the entire educational system, particularly by the very people we supposed to be the guardians of that system. And I make various reports and share this with the government. I remember the first incident was in 2018 where we discovered an examination hub in Aberdeen Road where students were taking exams 11 o'clock p.m. at night. And those exam papers were then later put into the examination packages and taken to WAEC from WAEC mark. And we shared those reports. And we saw that this is serious. And then coming down to 2019, where we now all see the more graphic presentation of what they happen, where Scorpion Squad activities and everything that led around it, we all see. And then, this is clear. There's an attack on the educational system on a massive scale by a coordination between principals, teachers, parents, and pupils, and with some form of assistance. And this comes from a serious desperation in the system because parents have found out that access to privileges, opportunities, success is tied to education. And they want their children to be among. Now, parents also know that many things lead to this success. Some of it includes private school, support there, and a lot of things. But sometimes also genetics, brain. If your child is inadequate, you can know. If you tell you pikin wey dey class 5, 2 plus 2, it tell you say 16, mama, you just say they know say this pikin problem there. But you still want that child to have access to opportunities, to grow up, to be a Chernobyl, to become an Alfonso Manley, to become the 2 ministers here. And therefore, you are desperate to provide that opportunity. And this don't create a market where, as the Minister of Education himself say, there's a demand and there's a supply. There's a demand from parents to get their children to access opportunities nationally at all costs. And there's a supply organized by teachers, examination malpractice, examination administrators, and other people. Now, the bottom line in this is we are in big trouble. Because where principals and teachers were we just did a random sampling to buy phones from people taking exams. And almost all the invigilators had mobile phones. And the observation from there was people were writing exam results on blackboards. There was a coordination between the security sector, the teachers manning the exams, and the parents who were outside coordinating with people. Now, this is how it's not just limited to, it's the same. Because teachers recognize that they can subsidize whatsoever inadequacy they are getting. One of the things they say, government know they pay, we fine. And they saw that parents are ready to pay a lot of money for their pupils to get access. So, in conclusion, we have a big problem at hand. Me, not a policy person, I am a law enforcement person. I am not one of those who thinks that we should be negotiating with teachers, with principals on examination malpractice. I believe that certain things are a calling. If you are called to do it, you either do it or you don't. And if you cannot, you leave. And you are substantially responsible for undermining it. And that is what's happening to the examination sector. And I believe we all need to work together on the cross-setting purposes, pool resources together, focus on ensuring that the integrity of exams are maintained and protected at all levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, People's Commissioner. The conversation just don't begin for sweet. Eh? He say there's a grand conspiracy. I want to introduce two of the panelists that will just join me. Ibrahim Bankapo SLTU. Now clap for him. The exam winner, the public relations officer for West African Examination Council. Why? Call up platform. All man there. What will they do the next tune quickly? It only fair. See, when the way they don't put and so, let una get at least 2 minutes for respond. Education. You see, by principals, by teachers, parents, with the candidate, and then, well, civil society will represent parents, and then the teacher, they all day on that side. Let's start with you in the middle, conference of principals. We'll go to SLTU, they will come to the university. And then we'll come to the wire. We'll go now. Thank you, sir. So, conference of the principal, they join for put this conspiracy for attack education. As alone, what you will say to that? Waiting at the reason for this rampant malpractice and waiting on your role in that process.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. As we all don't agree how the conversation will go, me, we sit down as chairman of conference of principal and the principal, the sitting principal. I don't think say any principal in me own life go there in a grand syndicate for the bring the very integrity with the tribal protectors and administration. I don't think so. Unless otherwise passed in the other world.
So what do you think say they drive this conspiracy and this widespread? What's not the driver from your perspective?
Yes, I am coming. I just want for there with just take the minister set a context issue. A man very intelligent. Give a context.
The Go Albert Academy, that's taken for granted.
We try to look in a real perspective. That before this time, well, I remember, I think many in this room here, people then we then sit O levels are not the worst. The examination business here, so where they come, where will be the go school? Where from 5 then they sit. You will see say then they bring the material, we don't understand say the material that they bring and come at the box of the school. That show for say the principle and integrity. Because if not to that, why not go take all the material they can't give to the principal. In those days, I am saying, that the principal, that they in charge, even when you not really put blackboard and write, exams in progress, no go area, no for put. We see doya so. Who will be kind of talk? The work office will be facing a taboo place. That's how I use. With the afraid they say by one country with the pass round for look no go near why no more because of the things they would they tell me. Then they mark the papers then Ghana, Nigeria man they can mark the paper. Oh, this year only question one, they say oh Ghana questions then they don't make so. Yes, what did they see 1984 O levels? This is not a common thing. So you don't get no picture. That's a city there. So now, as I say, first at the beginning, my preface say, no reasonable principle. As I sit here, go get a coordination for let it go undermine in your integrity. Because the exams business, now you there on top, the other head. So if you are going to undermine you, tell me. I don't think say, Pastor say don't go the other wall or the other day. But what for say that the exams integrity is of paramount for the principal, who is an administrator. He wants let the exam go on, unless otherwise some other things. Now with this analysis also, these days we don't see a whole lot of proliferation of principles, new principles. And very well, you will see sometimes somebody come out college, you don't can say I don't can be principal. But in those days, you know, me know, the thing gets a starter. We don't come out college. Why make them say assistant? I don't say at the university every day. You are an assistant teacher. We come out first in college. You not to then I for tell you say the boss man, the teacher, he is learning you whatever position where they give now he dey delegate. After then the teacher and I go vice and all of these teachers are not sitting at the university also now so they happen. You know, but now you could just see somebody don't come on college no more. But na principal straight away without doing all of those things. And the process, na process where you need to be mentor, na process where you need for learn, and all of these things. Nobody been they wish to get for sleep. Then each other. Now
You don't pass 3 minutes.
Get bicycle. I dey cancel. I'm sorry for me.
No, but no. You
Because
see,
they
the
like-
only way this conversation go for work, if I say 2.5 minutes, you try for stick to her. Otherwise, una all liar able talk for
All right,
two,
thank you very
two,
much.
2 hours. Una na teacher there, una na politician there. If I give una, they will talk no more. So
Thank
let's
you.
try for
Thank
stick
you.
to the
Thank you.
time. Yeah. So there. Let's go to SLCU next. Thank you, sir. I think you don't introduce a very important point where the minister and the 2 ministers they will respond to. You see the standard, the process of appointment of school administrators. Now they just come, when you come on pop, it don't become. So we'll address that. It's a very important issue to introduce. SLT, first of all, I don't like the fact say you late for this meeting. I mean, we're not like late. So I've been saying they call you out publicly and the WAEC man, but you're there now, so we'll take you. Second, you don't hear all this talk. We don't they talk for teacher there, but then say teacher there. Now then they part of this grand conspiracy. What do you say?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'm sorry for coming late. I don't left from 1 o'clock, 1 hour. But circumstance make a reach here this time. So bear with me. Myself now one first you are not late for late. Minister Sabidande. We don't start program here now. We're supposed to come on time.
He sent me fragments to the minister. Me fire and I
Go
ahead.
Now me witness. That's a fragment, I just witnessed. First of all, to start with that, quickly I go on for spend 30 seconds for say. In my opinion, the drivers of corruption are that one. Salon, we don't seem for lost integrity. That's now one. Second one, the misuse of technology is another driver. The third one, the conditions of service of people where they handle picking them examinations. Now another one. The third one, poverty gets a nexus to corruption. The other one, favoritism in employment, to an extent that all they want for see na paper. They don't want to know whether you get the skills or you get the capacity for perform na you role na paper no more. So all man just wants paper. You know they study. So this for me na the drivers. If you wanna explain, you give me time to explain.
Long is the drivers.
The other one-
No go now to.
Yes, sir. So I will say, yes, examination malpractice now a grand conspiracy. Everybody they play a role. And they start with government. What's now government in role? Government in role now that one, in they give the correct conditions, we go make them feel encouraged not for attempt or even do corruption. I know they condone corruption. The one them we don't deal with me, they know say I know they entertain than they, but the facts now they talk. Salon, if you not talk true, no more na lie you go talk. The anti-corruption commissioner, believe me, not go perform this kind of performance if na me salary they receive. I bet you. So that's the role of government. The role of public institutions.
Una know why make that clap una clap this so it's sad. Una all liar agree say if somebody they be paid less, it okay for let's see. That mean now una they applaud so.
You know, okay, but
Now
na
una
a
applaud so.
recipe.
So what una done, una go back online, una complain, say, oh, where them come? Now the corruption all they talk about. So now una they applaud so.
No, Mr. Minister, now
Yes.
the facts they applaud.
Okay.
It's the fact, because to be honest with you, right? Where you pay somebody well, is satisfied with in conditions of service, otherwise go reduce. But I always, one time I tell the commissioner when we meet Sabin Chibani say, the salaries now like unleashing the jungle justice in the society. Because me we sit on here, I always say talk with all due respect to everybody, and I say I'm with humility, not to anything, with higher teacher certificate, with a bachelor's and a master's, and a head of school for over 20 years. My salary is 2,500, Mr. Minister. I pay 60,000 every day, and they call the old money because now we understand fine. 2,500, 2,500,000. And they pay 60,000 every day for go work for 24 days of the week of the month. Multiply 60 by 24, almost go left for my salary.
Mr. Kago.
Please let me finish.
I'll give you another 2 minutes. I want though for make a point where the commissioner will not make just now. And I want to ask you for a response to that point today, so that we will get balance in the conversation. My mama and my papa them teach for a total of over 50 years. My mama now the head teacher. They teach for 39 years. They don't retire. My papa teach for about 20 something before he left the profession. When they pay them in the 80s, the money not been they do for buy one bag dress. My mama been they go 6 months and not pay her. Under APC team. That's true. Anybody there will be there, you know that. When they go 1 year, sometime, they not pay the 1 month. But my mama go tell you, say, before he cheats, make he die. He will sell all kinds of things. That's why he raised me. You now you start by laying the premise. You say, the conference of principal boss. You say in the 80s, principal was equal to integrity. How do you square that circle there now? In the 80s, when they pay them less, we all can agree now, say the rampant nature of corruption up in there. So how are you making a public case that corruption is tied directly? And by the way, the evidence on that is not straightforward. The commissioner denied. We get plenty societies where they pay a lot of money, people can still be corrupt. But people and they work now, but offices where they pay them millions and they still thief. So corruption and integrity issue. So I've been want to respond to the question of this Mawe go school for how many years? You know when they take leave, you know when they late for go work. My papa na be the same thing. I make my staff know if you late 1 minute at the text, me skin the grab. Because I learned those things from my parents, both of whom are teachers. So for let you, chair, president of SLTU, for Canada's public forum, and make a case that somehow it is okay for corruption because of condition of service, where by the way, the evidence suggests they don't go up, not down, since at least 2018. How do you square that circle?
Mr. Minister, I give 5 drivers of waiting they make examination malpractice a tribe. I give 5. Then I be every action where government don't agree na the disciplinary committee with all support the actions then they all right, but I therefore be fair for tell you because of the society how it is now. I don't really know why. But then said they play a role because one, they know they press them, picking them for study, for work hard in a school, but they wanted them picking them pass. Now then they encourage the teachers, then come, They say, look, something we are picking right from primary. Then they go see the class teachers them. Let me picking pass. Let me this, and they encourage the teachers them. And the teachers them way not get integrity. I mean, then they take debate. So now the role that they way comrade themselves they play. The picking themselves, picking they know how work hard, they know how study. And if they get an opportunity for let them say they give them free mark, then they take that role there. So themselves they play that role there. The institutions, colleges and universities, now the issue of where they submit assignments, if you submit out money, where they submit on paper, if you submit out money, you don't understand. Some students then no they even attend classes. Once you don't make package for the lecturer, you don't get so themselves and get their role for play. You also get the public institutions. Plenty public institutions that they succumb to political pressure. Now they sit down and they tell you this because me I don't serve na several boards. When now they do appointments until letter list like no more. This list from so place now take them people there. They don't want to know whether they qualify or they not qualify. So person go just go get paper. You know they study hard, you know they get the skills. So all man, that conspiracy where the party talk, now they agree and now they analyze for you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Council, the Tuabe College Vice Chancellor for Tuabe College, University of Sierra Leone. The SLTU presidents don't add the university. They say the culture of corruption submits with money, assignments, money, pamphlet culture. In fact, there's also the sexual element, particularly for female students, too, when are part of the corruption at the university. What will be your contribution to this debate on how we address these specific threats to education in the country? Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. My family, good evening. Me see corruption and other practices there. We not correct as a cost-benefit issue. They get cost, they get benefit. And we Motaman, we God make, they call we rational beings. If at all at the benefit per something, you know, and the benefit pass the cost, I therefore go do that thing there. The benefit, for example, if at all I know say, if I get for do something, they're not going to catch me. For when they catch me, it hard. The tendency would be for say, I go down. Or if they catch me, they don't do me nothing, or they don't do me better thing. I will continue for down. The cost will be, if at all, if I do they go catch me, the probability for when they catch me is high, that will make I not go and do. Or if they catch me, they will give me very severe punishment, where go they tell me, go make and not go down. So each decision, anyway, which can I have, you make that decision based on their cost here or those benefits. Look, for example, then people that will get fake degree, when they come, they say they get degree, with a lie in the line. They don't go all around the country, they don't do investigation, but wait till be the penalty. They don't do anything. So, it's possible for say post system go there, say, Mr. Go back to the salon, I cannot get degree, I say I get PhD, you know, they go and play me society and they get money. Because the benefits surpass the cost. So what do you mean they suggest, Minister, that this issue of digitalization of the operations? One thing, let me make in fact, the Minister of Education, they therefore push this issue around all the educational system of the country. When you digitize the system, they do, a number of things. One, they expand access. People who say they don't they forget, they will get far, they will get access to education. Second, it make the system resilient. Like when crisis be, like when we get Ebola, you go there a host town, they go to teach you, you go to stay learn. But the most important thing, the bear on this question when you ask, is that it will make the probability of detection will be increased. Will they increase the cost? of involving in these malfeasance. Thank you.
You see, when the professor talk, you dey get a lecture. Thank you very much, Professor. I really appreciate that because you introduce the issue of impunity. The fact say people get away with it. That impunity means. Adua. So even by the way, on the points where the SLT human make about corruption, this that. The points where Professor makes so now the bigger points. Poor people everywhere are capable of behaving just as bad as rich people. The question now whether if you go be held accountable when you do that bad thing there. So that's my question actually for you, Mr. Commissioner. The question of impunity. I want to come back to you. And then the 2 minutes that I want ready for response. Again, on the question of impunity, I think it's a very important question for higher education and as well for basic and senior secondary education. How do we respond to this question? See, people the way they cheat, we catch them, we left them. We know they hold them accountable. Yes, sir.
No, thank you. So, for example, examination malpractice na a generally administrative issue, not a law enforcement issue. It just can't be say, for example, at that time when we intervene in that kind of way, was because we realized that administratively not much was being done. We will make reports to the Senate and we will not get a response, so we will get it. So it was to capture the attention of the people. And I remember in recent times, I remember ministers sometimes don't call me and I say, no. Our role as Anti-Corruption Commission is not to monitor exams. We should not be doing that. We only did it at that time to draw your attention. Now that we have your attention, do what has to be done to fix this problem on a mass scale. So things like impunity, for example, we do reports. Minister there all the time we refer to them. Okay, I just don't get a report. I don't tell to. In the schools we went, if you read this report, you find out say there was a huge coordination, principals, teachers, parents, administrators, security sector, all of them working together. Are you going to take all of them, prosecute them at ACC and put them in prison? No, that would be a waste of time, a waste of resources, and it would be most ineffective. So it's a question of the administrative system organizing itself properly to handle this and then to deal with it. And then it comes back again to what he said about the recruitment of principals and the sanctions that apply to those who engage in things like this. Are they going to continue? So basically, when it comes to impunity, all of us have to do. Right now, we have a teacher in custody. This teacher, one WAEC supervisor, gave him papers to mark on his behalf. So WAEC supervisor, then give WAEC, give him papers then for mark. Then he take the paper there, he give one teacher for help and mark. The teacher take the paper then, put the envelope on their arm, they go from house to house, they knock on the parents' door. And say, parent, you picking Nancy seat NPSC. Not so, he say yes. I get a paper now. I want 300,000 euros and they make Nancy take that paper back today. Then I mark her now. Before I submit to WAEC. We get that teacher there in custody right now. So, this, not to guesswork, and I've been telling the minister this before I come here. I say, me, a law enforcement person, I am not a policy man. I'm not there for negotiate salaries. I'm not there for negotiate costs. I don't even want to be part of the conversation around salaries. Me just believe say if somebody engaged in examination malpractice, that person there for be held accountable, period.
Full stop.
If you are not paid well, that is a problem between you and your employer. And for come and sit down to listen to this, and I will tell Minister just now, you cannot be having a conversation on people cheating in that same conversation, we dey get a conversation on the salary of the person where they commit the cheating.
I'm telling you.
That is a fundamental error. Everyone all can clap all you want. But you are clapping away your futures because these are justifications that are never going to end. Every money you get, every salary they pay you, you want more. So teachers are never going to be happy with their salaries until you all die and go. But you can sit down here when they say teachers are not paid well, therefore they are cheating, and you clap your way and you are happy about it. I am telling you, this is a serious problem. And in this conversation they get now, we are either talking about the solutions of dealing with examination malpractice and block out every other thing, or we just allow it to go.
Thank you, sir. By the way, the people the way they become examiner na you next, sir. The people the way na examiner them na WAEC, the teacher where they in custody now. When you go for the WAEC hire you as examiner for mark paper, you dey get contract with WAEC. Then they pay you for being an examiner. You know, still stop that person they pay him. For let go around and knock and still cheat. The guy the commissioner say, you can clap all you want. Any country will not get a commitment on integrity. Not so integrity not get nothing to do with how much you are paid. They don't know multiple studies all over the world. But some of the biggest thief money are the people who they pay the biggest. The biggest banks, the owners and the thief money at the end of the day. You don't get nothing for doing it. You either have integrity or you don't. And they tell you, say, my mama, he teach for 40 years almost. My mama, he sell all kinds of things. I come on school, I go sell kerosene. I come on school, they know that. We sold everything. So you know go cheat. So personally they convince me, say, I cheat because they don't pay me enough. Administrative sanctions. Lord, go ahead, sir.
Okay. I think we have the reinforce within check no say. Me, Sefi Mama and Papa and I be teacher. And they working at the 80s, and what he say, you know, this is not age business, but what he say, in the 80s, you dey go months, you don't get salary. And wallahi, I can talk now confidently, they can record me people in the scene and the diaspora, they're not one day involved by malpractice. New values came from them. So that's not the first thing. The second thing also is a point that the commissioner made. You know, it's interesting, I was thinking before Kalahasi, I'm not the only minister. But what do you mean? It means to say anything you are saying. There is a, you understand? What do you mean? I beg the media for do. You know, we say so. The president is not the one. Then choose up. Why? Because of the thing of what they do in this country. Like at the look at TikTok, the Liberian minister, it introduced civic education. Just this last week now it took. We don't do civic education years ago. Then with the reviewer now. The Ghanaians are the talk now say we begin teach speaking in Chinese now primary school. The minister of higher education will tell you that we don't go with beginning primary schools, state schools, then they talk Chinese. Yes, the minister of education at Ghana, now they think about that. But let's address the problem. You know, when I start to look at what would they do, I start to say we introduce a white bill. This now for deal with them very same issue where they talk. The last time what the bill will be get in 1984, the year when Mr. take levels. You understand? So we know we get the tools we give you all the good and that with it. Now, just before I come at this meeting, me and the leadership team, they review the TSA Act. In that act, they say the whole act now only focus on government and government-assisted schools. Now they say we need to bring private schools inside this school because some of the problems that they get in private schools. This will give you the teeth for really dealing with this situation. But if you look at the Basic Education Act also, it spelled out very clearly sanctions that will get for put against this. Therefore, you know, at the Yeri Alfonso 110 over the weekend, they talk about section 26, section 82, and all that. We get the rules. And let me say this, what I said to una just now. I say 58 principal, we suspend them for 1 year without salary. So the action they take, even for us, we don't sign an undertaking. Because we know all the game they already play. Which we own principal them. Now we wait for the results. Safu one, we know what they don't do. And perhaps if we get them, I will turn at army. But let me so when the individuals are caught, we they take action. Me and the commissioner they talk all time. But in addition to that, there is a difference between what you call malpractice, that are way picking duty way you're not supposed to do now the exam and bring foreign materials and everything. I just Google this now. I say that they get malpractice in the UK exams there. What lie then they get. You Google and you search.
Of course.
Yes. The second thing where they get, now what you call maladministration. This is where the school itself condone some of their actually. And in terms of action, the way they take, with a suspend sentence, if we know say sentence they involve in malpractices or maladministration, then they open paper the term before the exam be and all that. These actions to be they take up. Right. And what will they do? Will they bring more legislation for giving more teeth for do this?
Thank you, Minister.
No, but like one more thing. I see people in clap where the SLTU person talk about salaries. Now, this maladministration who they deal with about people who will not submit, the failure to submit CAS. A private school, not the government, they pay them. Last week, I go meet one other one where they say for take exam the results, then they charge. A private school, not the government, they pay them. So this notion that if you don't get salary high, for profession they now where they get them challenged there. But I don't see that kind of action within that. So for me, no fair solution. I don't get all the solutions, but I can work with you now and collaborate for fair solution.
And another could so we all will talk about how together we all go address this problem. I want to let me move slightly, Madam Minister, if you allow me, to internal control measures, because you talk about maladministration, but within the university sector, for example, who step then they will only put in place for make sure say we don't get to corruption in the first place. Waiting, that is something that we will need for do. So we don't need for even the crime be committed for think about impunity, but some internal control. And then Professor mentioned this thing quickly while you comment on fake degrees. Waiting the university do for make sure say if we catch you say possibly lie by your paper, whose step they wanna go for take for at the start.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. So the first point about waiting at the internal controls is slightly different because we need to handle public exams. So the administration within the universities, as I said earlier, now they get the policies and the punitive measures them if you're found wanting for different levels of crime. But having said that, I've been fortunate enough for serve as a lecturer within a university in Sierra Leone, as a head of department, as dean, before I was appointed as minister. So I don't get first-hand experience as to how some of the tears so they unfold within the institutions of higher. One thing where I'm platforms them, but it never happen overnight. Now, but what they get in conversation there, so it's of value because me on greatest fear. Now, for say examination malpractice, it's almost becoming a societal norm. It's just, we always fairly easy for justifying. When I lecture, while they go inside the lecture room, my students will attest to this. I always say to them, I'm not just there for personal knowledge in the subject area. Most of them, they look up to me. How I carry myself is very important because tomorrow I get to be the future leaders then. So while they're within the higher education institutions, they're not for CC, examination malpractice na normal thing because that is what they will take into their professional lives and pass on to them, picking them. So when do we break the cycle? Ask any of my students then. They know what I stand for. Examination 10. When I receive high all the time, examination 10, I dress like soldier man for going invigilate. Nobody know they talk to me safe, and they laugh safe to nobody. And they know what I stand for when it comes to examination and examination malpractice. I get, if there's a number beyond zero tolerance, that is what I have when it comes to malpractice, because I know what thing that they will do to a nation. Especially now as minister, you see that afford for ladies become something when a part and parcel of we. So one way we can use for minimize this, unfortunately enough, for remove the human touch or minimize the human touch and use technology. Technology will help in terms of efficiency, accountability, transparency. Like I said, not what will happen overnight because it needs a significant amount of investment into resources. Then what do we think? I forget multifunctional ICT rooms then across all we higher education institutions then. Multifunctional with adequate computers then. Meaning we take time for exam, not to paper. You need to write on paper anymore. You go inside the examination, the multifunctional suite, you do your examination online. We get multiple choice questions, we get short answer questions. Your multiple choice question, we get random question bank. So question 1 to me and question 1 to Uda de Sidonia, me not to the same. So if I want to
copy now,
if I want confess if now the wrong thing we talk about. So then they now one way than the for address. You click submit, there's a marking scheme on the back end, immediately the grades are there. Short answer question, we all know about artificial intelligence. We train other countries, they train AI on the marking scheme for the short answer question.
Wonderful.
You click submit, the AI they mark, then the head of department can go in now and do quality check for make sure say the AI gets them right. So for minimize that, and this is something we run pilots now and PAM. The platform was developed by a lecturer and PAM. The students embrace them, and we they work now with the institutions and the partners then for see how we can scale that.
And this is now a clap for. The man has the point back say, hey, so no go for the able for the spy again.
Well, you know, surprisingly, when I come, when they show me this examination platform, I be they think say the students are not going to embrace them. The students embrace them past the administrators themselves. And then they tell me, say, Madam Minister, when we'll get this and other universities, they don't pay us themselves benefits from this.
Wonderful.
You also asked about fake degrees.
Yes, quickly, Minister.
Fake degrees. So we know the Dominion era. Me not being lecturer, and we all go do verification. We all go submit with degree qualifications then for lady institutions then verify say with degree they're authentic. Since then, nothing no happen, to the best of my knowledge, or nothing. Sometimes things can happen slowly behind the scenes. But when I assume office, I don't reach out and write to the Tertiary Education Commission, say, let me go back and revisit that exercise day. Because when we do that, then people ain't go no say, the one that we choose for go down that path, they no say, we know they tolerate that within we higher education institutions, because now they're not the finishing house for young people. And we get for take up leadership positions and in the future. We cannot afford to entertain anything of that nature. They become the wrong message we send.
Thank you very much, Madam Minister. Make a count to WAEC. The grand conspiracy, I go back to one. WAEC was named in the grand conspiracy. And I think say recently we no less a person than His Excellency the President Sef call out say WAEC Sef for play a role. We talk about internal control, we talk about digitization now, is all the waiting WAEC in your observation on this issue of the threats to education integrity in Asalo and waiting WAEC they do as well for address that. You get 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, and we tell thank you all the previous speakers there now. I know say in this country, the moment we talk about exam malpractice, now WAEC everybody But we dey tell the general public now say the conduct of exam na a tripartite responsibility, wherein WAEC gets in your role for play. Of course, Mr. Ben Kalfella don't make some points then we I want to clarify again. But one thing we I dey assure the public, WAEC will get what we call integrity. And that integrity they we still dey maintain am during the conduct of the examination. The one that way they go na the field, they know. Because when they go na the field outside there, go they conduct exam, and the one where they just sit down in the office waiting and they tell them a different with waiting you they see na the field. So we know say examination malpractice na a threat not only to the reputation, not only to the image of WAEC, but even to the development of this country. So therefore, WAEC not they condone that. Mr. Ben Kelfala make comment on case na Aberdeen, we happened in 2018 or 2019. Of course, we self will get measures. The moment a center don't begin play examination malpractice, we they know even if we not go to that center there, we get which we call measures they will determine for say this don't begin play certain havoc and we concentrate on that center there where the measures they will not know. So we get a communique for ensure transparency at the examination, wherein the anti-corruption is a signatory, the Ministry of Education, SFTU, CPSF, now a communique, and will not move none of them confidential material and they without security escorts. So therefore, when we get that intelligence, of course, we as the minister, they say, we build what we get 1984, when they try for revise now and let them pass them. We will not get any power for enter na somebody else and do any raid. So therefore, we get the security forces then, we get the law enforcement agency there, we they communicate their intelligence there to either the CID, the police, and the anti-corruption. So therefore, we communicate, and indeed, the radar host, of course, a staff na WAEC be involved. So let's make it clear. Then from that next day, if they meet that staff day, no one day appear again na WAEC because we know they condone that. So we get another issue again, we I want to clarify now, where we self-report 2024 marking, where we get an examiner, where we they copy direct from the marking scheme. An examiner, a teacher, a lecturer back for that matter. We take and we report to anti-corruption. We know they condone examination malpractice, and indeed the indictment and now I know say it is served in prison sentence. So we do them. Then again make mention of this NPSC who will get the saga. And again, who will they talk about? NPSC na traditional marking. What you call traditional marking? You as the examiner. So that clarify, examiner then are teachers then, not to even WAEC they mark the paper. Question. The script of the candidates then go mark them. Examiner, oh, na give na paper. Now you don't begin to wait then transfer to anti-corruption. The commissioner will be a witness that. Now we take them out of the day. So another
Yes.
paper, lots of we get various forms of malpractice. We get various forms of examination malpractice. Let me explain. Not to have.
Yes, go ahead.
Now they think about leakage. Now show we the exam officers they think about leakage.
So explain to me now.
Leakage now when the paper come on, it they out to the public before WAEC they release an first study. That we call leakage. We get what we call foreknowledge. When we don't distribute them paper there, the time for conduct examination don't come, we release the code, they open, they begin snap them, send on our social media, then they know to leakage, now foreknowledge. We don't come on and we don't study. So that's any examining body, they tell you say leakage and foreknowledge is different. Of course, we know everything, we search everything on the social media.
Well, wait, sorry, sir. I ask a very specific question. How paper can leak?
Me not.
All right, now allow them finish. Now. Hey, okay. No settle down.
A lot of things that the way that they send out before the exam. Me self get full. And they see them till they do. 1 year, they very recently, where mathematics, when a big paper, somebody send them, and they go to one center for conducting exam. Now that very night, for the clean morning, he send mathematics to me. He said in Peking and say, "My mathematics paper, this we don't leak." Now that I tell us, Mr. Principal, now we wait the morning till we open the paper. Myself, we don't get the questions they all. So open the paper because me be busy in the morning for it. Now in first call back. Say, hey, say, Mr. Kamara, that's in a fake. They say not to waiting there at the paper, and not to waiting there at the question paper at the beginning and go with. Right. So this is now some of the problems the way we call leakage.
All right, so I want to cancel the student there. Lord cancel Madam Mary Julius, where they represent the school picking there. Now the PRO for Children's Forum Network. Maybe you don't listen to all the adults and don't talk. Within this, in the conspiracy commissioner outline, it says school picking themselves there. Although you hear some of the teachers themselves don't say, picking men's they know work hard. Then they clap with and give reason for corruption. Because the Bureau collect for tell the stories. Say somebody do video, they send it to her. We say, President Bureau back, you say back, you know, we go school. He's just petrified. Now, like what I talk to Christian say, we somebody to justify corruption. Me, I know how my mama is me. At the end, they always talk about this issue. You know, you understand, say, parents go come back. I don't go meet teacher, then teacher. The first way for me, the symbol of integrity. Principal, they say, no, law arrange, I give you small thing, give me the paper, you go through. Then they so extraordinary so far. They will end with the society, they'll cancel now. Go ahead, Mary.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mary Julius, and just a correction, I am no longer the Deputy Public Relations Officer for the Children's Forum Network, but I am now the contesting candidate for the National President of the Children's Forum.
I stand corrected.
So for me, education, now knowledge plus skills plus values then. Where we get in research, not education, where we forget. And the topic, how do we address the threat to quality education in Sierra Leone? But before I go first to the topic, would that we think say we for blame for examination malpractice in Salone? Now, is it the schools? Is it the teachers? Are we the pupils to be blamed? Is it the civil society? Is it WAEC? Well, that's which I don't know. I want to let me know for Sina Salone, so we get 3 types of schools then. We get one, the multi-million-dollar schools where they pay almost $1 million per term. When they're not even part of the system itself, the educational system. Then they take public exams then. And then we also get the private schools then, where people learn, people say, expect to say, if I put something at this school so, me picking it for past exam because of the kind of amount of school fees where I pay for, this me picking soon. And also we get the government schools then, where some people like think for saying the less privileged schools then, where some of we they attend. So who is to be blamed? At the schools then, at the ministry we change the syllabus inside just something like a year, and then the next year. So the ministry will change the syllabus then from the old system, come to the new system just for say, we need for do, if you didn't ask, you need to do mathematics. And then when we go SSP, then call the curriculum back and say we need for return back to the old curriculum. And when small people are not able to comprehend it, that's the new system then where they be housed for the education assignment. And also, insist with teachers then where they pay salaries on time, where they say, okay, we picking a lot, just get one lesson, one private lesson, all that focus on this private school because you're paying beaucoup money. But let me just be just. Is it still the kind of salary they pay with teachers then? And then also, social workers and they want to school them give the admission and sign the so for say if we're not giving 200,000 for maths need to work my ass so or security then where they share us where they link us paper because this year English paper leak and we not sit exam till around 4 o'clock. That they really has me because most of the exam we go for like 2 hours exam. We not sit around say 4 o'clock up to 7 o'clock before we start for English examination. And then also I want to talk about how to address stress equality. I also got for learn for say picking them where they attend where
Hello, listen, please. Yes.
Children with disability, especially children with visually impaired, they do not get class GSS level. So you think it's not done equality for them picking and they were disabled? When visually impaired, we just they say if you see MPSC vocational skills that they go learn, they never get for go again and SS and GSS. You think it's not an equality for picking them as we address the equality of education towards children, all children in Sierra Leone? Because you think say it's just for like picking way okay, go be doctor. What if they picking also want to be doctors and they also get bigger dreams apart from vocational skills there. And then also, you think some of our parents that we complain, with parents that we go do anything where I know for say most of the people in our studio, when our parents and you think say the minister Siba not go do anything so far, even say picking abroad for making go study or even do any kind of thing for making picking get good education. You think so if they ask you as parents say you as parents if you give some money for you picking that you go pass, you think say parents not go, you think say parents are not go do that for them picking them. And then also we talk about the digital world. We know for say parents them right now. School them right now, instead of them say by tech, look what they say now for because we all know for say phone and they all seen right now. And then also the phone gets an advantage, also a great disadvantage. So picking them because picking them monitor them, picking them again and all that stuff them things. And then also with all the helps of big people and education business area so who does now so want to take accountability for examination malpractice now someone? Who does you want for that's my question, ladies.
Thank you very much. May Julius contesting for the presidency of Children's Forum Network. As I really glad we're there and I'm glad for the perspective that we don't bring up. But since you asked a direct question as a parent, if somebody go ask me say la pay money for let me picking pass over my dead body. Over my dead body. I not sabi for bring that conversation to my papa from where they go. I not crazy self for go tell me papa. My papa people they know I'm the teaching independence for many years. And the thought of that day for couch and say, they go ask my papa say, well papa, for let me self pass, all man they do one, he go tell me say me not to all man. Now I make a day so today. Any parents will they join hand for pay for them picking cheats. That parent they not to the picky leg, now the picky they destroy. Minister, before we come to Alfonso Mali, he asked a very direct question. Maybe you want to clarify on people with disabilities, kids with visually impaired, when they send them forcefully out of the formal school system directly into tech voc.
You know, there are quite a lot of assumptions. So before I answer that, let's go back to the curriculum. Why academia? And they go attest to what they say. The WAEC rules say when you introduce a new curriculum, it will take 3 years before you assess the MPKND on that curriculum. This exam will take, we get 2 pathways. We get the one pathway when I be the new curriculum, where again, I just tell you, say it will take 3 years before you take the exam. So the idea that we change the curriculum is 1 year, it's not accurate. The second is the fact that we yearly say some schools don't do that. It is on that basis for save a crisis. We went back to WAEC and make a case that we need for bring back the old curriculum and let the 2 pathways then go together. That's why we don't get a crisis.
So each school they choose.
Each school they choose. So you get now the opportunity for just say to the student, until you don't go back to the old curriculum, continue for work with the old curriculum. So we get that facility there for 2 years. This year then will be the end of that facility there. So it is not right. You know, the system not perfect. But I can tell you one thing, I don't do that this business for long. I sometimes can shame myself for see how long I don't go. Because if I talk also how long I don't do that in business, some people already at this stage, the experience is big past them. So anything will come that this system, I can't tell you say I will get 100% too, but I will sit down with my team, that the ministry, we find solutions. We look at various options. We approach people, and we're not going to understand how much down did they go. Sometimes and then the last time we get problem with cars. Now the Nigerians they now go talk to. And me they do that all behind the scenes. I know they talk Boku, and they try to just make sure say, this system not ever get any problem. We just introduce life practicals. After 7 years of absence, we not tell you say perfect too, but we spend over $500,000 for make sure say that exam they happen. We get 110,000 students that will take science subjects and we take practicals this year. There's no crisis. We get to look at the results and we go learn from that, but you know accurate. This other thing about
Visually impaired.
Visually impaired. Let me tell you one interesting thing. 2 years ago, a group of visually impaired students came with me. Now, 3 years ago, because the new education officer not be carried. Then come meet me and complain, say, for the last 3 years, they know the pass exam for good university. This is an academic subject. They need to pass. So I instructed the then chief education officer. I say, well, we'll sit down with MPK. We'll look what's in that problem be. What you will find out was that the school will not be we say the beginner get them blind. So what did happen? We they submit the beginner like normal beginner. Then when they go, you go find out say the beginner blind. Then even they submit cast marks for beginner where they can't if you blind, you visually impaired, you cannot do maths. Then we test one new method for do maths for 1 year. But we get marks for people that we get marks for people that will go do maths. So we review the system there and then. To be honest, WAEC was very collaborative in that process. We put what in called reasonable adjustments for them PKR visually impaired. You know what happened? then begin pass. Then come back to me, they can't tell me. I meet then one other thing na one hotel na beach where we get on inclusive education. They said tell we thank you for who listen to them and we respond to them. So this idea about pushing them down the vocational line, I am not aware of it. If that is the case, anybody who is visually impaired in that situation, please come back to me. Let we have no say that this they happen at the system and let we try to fix them. But as far as I am aware, I am not aware of that. And last but
not also the policy. There's no policy by this government to do that.
And last but by no means, we ministry now, we don't get problem with technical and vocational education. And Alfonso Akisuda, watch the clip there. So you talk about the fact so for abolish Becker because the whole idea behind the 6334 was that they get to the senior secondary school, they get two pathways, general academic and then the vocational.
Technical, yeah.
And you say the technical not happen. Let me give you confirmation. See, we work with MasterCard, and we they bring them back with a vengeance. We the pilot and attend schools, and we they try for getting money. As soon as they announce that, they will come back to the public and tell the public, wallahi, whatever happened with the feds, this one, we talk about the do and the prove.
Thank you very much, sir. Madam Minister, I want to add one sentence there. Then we'll come to Alfonso.
I just want to add to the TVET component. So we get the issue with the TVET tutors in our schools, TSC, whether or not they've got TSC or not. We don't create now under we regulatory agency, NCTVE, a department for teacher recruitment and management. So they get signed for monitoring and for giving the support. Thank you.
And the one more thing where I would just say that teachers, the payment when they come on time. You can get a conversation about how much they pay them. But under President Bill, public sector workers are paid on time. So Madam President, I just want to make sure say we can make the claims they would make, but we can make sure say them claim then we therefore make sure say the Academy Minister say we clarify. When it comes to civil society, they will come back to now, they will come interact more with the audience. Alfonso will get comments on most of the things they were there, so instead of the 3 minutes, we'll give 5 minutes. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank the Ministry of Civic Education for this very, very important town meeting because it's really, really important. Education now will take you from one stage to another stage, and that pathway continuum, you will see prosperity. Now, me want focus because I don't do a lot of discussion on education, and I believe that the states they listen. Me want focus waiting they cause this malpractice and no solution will get so it will stop. Now, majority of the people they prepare for go sit exam, then they go to that examination hall, they half aid empty. They don't know what's in go right. And that is the biggest challenge we must solve. How? In a school system, you have what is called education, measurement, and evaluation. That's one. Two, in the school system, you have what is called assessment. And in the school system, we also get what it take for the one the way they teach the Pekin for ensuring say they are properly trained, they are offered with the curriculum, they are offered with the syllabus, they get scheme of work, then they prepare lesson notes, they get lesson plan for deliver the lesson, and they are well motivated. Let's start now the first one. When them Pekin don't go for one, I want left the primary first. When the teacher give the Pekin assignments for going to host, when they can submit the assignment, if you submit the assignment with 50 loan, you don't get 60 straight. And the reality of the talk, when you submit the assignment with 100 loan, you don't get 70 straight. Now this begin a depend JSS 1, a depend JSS 2, a depend JSS 3. And the school now they get a system for assessment picking there. In assessment, we get two types. We get the formative assessment, you know, that normal test work in the give them
for say these top people I don't teach you, and they assess you and see how they perform. And this type of assessment, what they give them test, we get test the test method, we get the parallel method, we get the split half method, we get the Kutzal Richardson method for assess them, for understanding that they take in. When we don't miss that one day, we allow the beginner to go attempt exam. You don't know how, if you understand what you don't teach them, you don't know assess them for no say, then they above the examination, then go teach, then go there. When the beginner reach at the hall, the only thing that they look for, now for access the network of examination malpractice people already. A, MBSSC. 2, security apparatus. 3, why? Number 4, and then they call teacher, we call say teacher, they're only on the MBSSC. Now they creature them, now they employ them for teaching picking there. So MBSSC, because they has the responsibility. Now you get the Teaching Service Commission. Me go tell you say the TSC, as civil society, they monitor education. From the appointment of, yes, Conrad do well, because in can't it's time be so challenging for certain that do very well. But from where land scanning, the aspects where Teaching Service Commission not there, now that kind of resources they get for support Teaching Service Commission, and for them to pass with them. So because the very first time I experienced and trained all class 1 teacher, all class 1, class 2 teacher, none left, because of the very fact that President Bio, the UN Secretary General get 5 champions of education. And it choose as foundational learning. So this malpractice, let we make town hall meeting, we make all time meeting. If they not teach them picking they are, they assess them. Don't we ensure say before they go sit, you say, okay, you prepare well, go sit exam. It always go to get malpractice. That's one. Number 2, when teacher they teach, first of all, I'd like the number one thing they call for the school heads then. You can get some principal then when they sit in the office for morning. Say school command, they come inside the office and then they sit down. The only thing you see they sit there where parents come for can do admission. You do admission from term 1 to term 3. Every day then they do admission at school. Every day them principal then they do admission. Now, what's not the rule? If you don't get the curriculum first of all, are the bigger documents, when are the ministry they design that curriculum? So now this area and now this area and this area for teach. Inside that curriculum then, each subject they go to they call syllabus. That syllabus there, the teacher for preparatory they call scheme of work. Week 1, now this our achieve. Week 2, now this our achieve. Week 3, now that scheme of work, they submit it to the head of the department, where they can go to the principal. So when the principal in our office, they gonna say week 1, pan geography, now this is for cover. Week 2, pan geography, now this. So if they call you week 5, they say, Usa you there now? They look you scheme of work. Wait till you tell I say, now this I the beginning of the whole attempt examination half empty. Now NPSC, now Beke, now WAS because of the laziness. When the teacher, and also all teachers, most of the teachers then, now for pay and pass, pay and pass, pay and pass. Lastly, what's our ministry the whole kind side? Minister Conrad do very well with one thing I will always applaud and for the sector. We always make a complaint for English language. But you always tell us, say, Minister, anything they do with carrots, we're not in the education sector plan. Don't know for let them put money for the sustainability and continuity is difficult. Then go give that first money for introduce the program. It gets a whole conference for English language. You know, it's a go here and understand that conference day. What you want to do, the map the paper bring out. If maybe it's done before President Bia for say one of the solutions to this education business. Now this kind of the scheme where they for making into the university, you get for pass English. The ministry also, they get what they call squams, for monitor school. Inside the school system, you get board of governors for secondary school. One of the most powerful committee, now the visitation committee. When the visitation committee go to school, they look at teacher attendance, they look at scheme of work, they look at the register, they look at how they want the entire school. The minister now they get that information there for take decision. The SQ they went at them board and they send their reports and they go give the minister for say, and he watch. Then they try you, but when it comes to this, now they lack, now they make progress. Then the minister they get that report say. So there is a whole gap between the board and the ministry administration. And when they look at the power of the board so gets power, but the same work when the board for they do, and the ministry they do. So the principal they regard the board. When the ministry, when the school get issue, and they call the DD, you say Alpha, now this problem I get. You know they call him board chairman, and the board is responsible for the implementation of policies. So they get that gap. So me, for solve my practice, teach the picking the well, assess them well. When you assess them well, you go necessarily speaking, you prepare for write this exam or not. Other than that, it let you do awareness, say left my practice, bend go put in a it no go stop because the picking and they go half empty and the examination. And that aspect they will for work on for ensure say teacher well, motivate teacher for doing job very well. NASIT, the last one, time NASIT. One of the biggest contributors to NASIT, not teacher them. The current act for permit NASIT for bill quarter for teacher them. But if you go get the document for say, when you don't get placed like a falaba for Nagugu, then remote salary teacher they give for Sudan. Bill 2 empara, 3 empara. Try them to them benefits. When that teacher don't get quarter, they teach it at fun. You know, so for again going to my practice for begin fair money for buy cement for videos. Then when teacher buy freezer, they will get scheme for them when I higher purchase. Whose teacher will put 23 million buy freezer? But then get outside they will make undertaking. Say this teacher will pay for this freezer 200,000 for month, 200,000. So you will get freezer. So on that note, this my practice. Me as CSO, when this education sector, I understand that very well. I do my masters now in education. Now Mr. Me don't make I go do and go sit down for talk. Then some might not read education. So I go read and also when we say the talk, I got authority for talk for solve the problem. So yeah.
Alfonso Manley, thank you very much, my brother. Like I say, it's a bit sector. I work in the civil society, and I make the government. By the way, like I just say, not also this country been there. We president, we don't make so the council don't so together. ACC commissioner, principal, minister, civil society, WAEC. For more they go up now, yeah, not been the zoo. Not so? For little can they talk to we, all my talk to we I want, we talk to yourself, young posse, fire we, teacher, fire we, all will clap, will laugh. This is a new culture of democracy. We're proud of Nasalon. We want to continue for maintaining. The only way this will succeed now, we will treat it with respect and we respect each other. We get frank, tough conversation. But everybody learn from each other. We said I learn a lot from all man today. Now we're not turn for continue the same speed. Yeah, the simple rule, they can follow. Who give you the mic at the time, you talk for 1 minute. At exactly 1 minute, I pull the mic now you have. So we'll allow the first round and the try for take up to 10 to 12 people. Okay? So I will let whoever want to talk, you put up your hand. When I point, you talk. Okay? So we take 10. This first one first. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yellow is white boy, they give you number 4. Number 5, the gentleman with the cap. Okay? Lord with 5. The next 5 will cancel. Lord, so I don't forget the one that we get the number there. Remember on the number there. Lord go. Una please take notes. So we'll comment and respond after. Yeah?
My name is Mahmoud Silla iWatch online. My question will go to the Minister of Higher Education. He talked about digital platform. He said digital platform, they address the exam malpractice. Now, the question, Diana, is that if we are moving to digital platform or the technology, the mind behind the technology or the digital platform we are going to use, how do we control these people who are going to be behind the digital platform?
All right. Thank you, sir. Number 2, Pakamaya.
The Watch and the Humanity newspaper. SLT, we in the journalism, we got ethics and media law. You promote you talk. One time I say SLT, and she promotion we got ethics for law. Principal, chairman. Academy teacher will say, better to be that to see. But what you talk like that? You prefer when I say, human behavior predictable, not cover the principals. Accept those in the commission that says, yes indeed, the principals that participate in body and corruption in this country. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Truth Media next.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is David Solomon. I report for Truth Media. The question is why. So it wouldn't be a coincidence that the president sent him up before the country in Makeni for the second time and talk say yes, the evidence say WAEC, Umbarem, they involved in malpractice. I want for just ask Una say what do they do? Because the president may say the evidence is the way tied down to Dandy. What do they do for see that say Una we grab name the Una get standing already get no matter what you say before we president not talk to not believe una we self not believe una waiting at the way forward for see that say next year examination no go say paper leak again no go say picking at the pace English them for money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. White boy in the next 1 minute.
Mr. Minister, I'm a white boy, I'm a citizen. I want to talk to the teachers there. Some teachers they teach to school where the pikin and kid don't in a classroom. They wait for the teacher. And the teacher can left the school and go teach other school. What did the minister they do to us that pikin, that teachers?
Thank you, white boy. Number 4, the man with the cap.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Charles Mansari. The Minister of Information actually say we clap now with the SLTU minister boss be making points because he will try for support corruption, but that's not the case. As we all London House would clap because of he make that particular point out of 5 say and the way teachers know they get enough salary, and that's what say yes because majority carries the vote. 1, 2, 3, 4 will actually disagree. But my question is to the minister, Mr. Saki. What do you think? Do you not think that if we get increase and the teacher salary, that's going to reduce corruption? Because we get country like Denmark, Uzbekistan or I don't know the country name. When people say thank you, when people say teachers they get enough salary but they get low corruption in terms of education. So what can I do towards the teacher salary? When I try for increasing or waiting?
Whose school you go, sir?
I am not in school.
Whose institution?
From Rice Video.
Rice Video, thank you. Alright, so come on this side now. Let the hand and go up so we don't get 5. We'll do the next 5 and I'll come back to the panel. I just want to get more and more voices. So we will start with the 2 people in front here from the media. 1, 2. Number 3, the gentleman panel. So it will talk for you. So we get 1, 2. Philippa, I don't see her. Number 3, the lady, I want more women. Number 4, the other lady with the wig over the under. And then number 5, the person where you hand the last way under with the glasses. Okay? So let's try the one in the first.
Ibrahim Sarasisi, Voice of Salon Radio. Let's go back to the Minister of Education. Mr. Ba, 5 lesson notes, no not get registered. And when you look at them, now Kisi in general, my colleagues then they will visit the schools then. So waiting una they do with una quality assurance officers then for visit 10 schools then they where then teachers you know they go, no not get registered, no not get lesson notes, and even when we go there, no they teach to begin them. Another question back to you. There are schools then in Freetown where they take more picking them for take worse. But from JSS to SSS, school picking another day. I'll give you evidence after. Yeah? So that one is the lab now to the teacher, the SLTU. I taught for good 10 years in secondary school. I know the system. First, we didn't get what they call the teacher code of conduct. When I was in school, when I was teaching by then. The teacher code of conduct, it gets a lot of things that we talk about bribery, where teacher acceptor. What in una the teachers they don't do for able curtail the system they are between una self way the corruption system they play.
Okay. The code of
Thank you.
ethics now also. Thank you very much.
Okay, of course, when I Samsung Salon Network. I want to talk to the minister, say, the man been don't teach for 40 years and never corrupt. But at the same time, you fail to realize the dynamics of the world. Then the moment papa them, they just back to say, like just try for feed me picking there. But now you see say, we give me with this woman a blogger, I'm not gonna left blogging for go teach. Because salary you know go buy this phone for me, went out to 10 to 50 million. Then the moment papa they get phone. They mean they just sell potato, make for a market and sell for feed me. Things send very minimal transportation. Then tell them they get teachers and lift, but now nobody get teacher lift. You pay for yourself and go. Okay, so now I come to the implementation of technology for minimize examination malpractice. Now we forget say why I get technology we're very advanced, but there is still malpractice. If we go to NRA, then get the Asikuda system, but you go see say corruption still there na NRA. So for let them bring the technology, no get for that kind of way reduce the malpractice. It just get for do with the humans, right? Getting the conscience say, I for do the right thing. Most times I can talk say, Sierra Leoneans, we don't normalize the bad things, we don't just take and say it's just normal for us to do something we wrong in the society. This get for do it. We the citizen then, we just get for gather so much civic education in the kids for we for build a better society.
Thank you. Number 3, next round. I'll respond, of course, but yeah.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Luque. I come out from the Human Capital Development Consortium. Now, so we Minister of Education, the two, with 22% where we don't dedicate to the ministry. How many percent they go directly to the teachers and when are the frontline workers? Because we believe, say, government can bring out the policy of the free education, but for let the education get that quality, now the one that within at the field where they work directly. So how many percent, per that 22% where we don't give with teachers and directly, where go make whether not salary or whether not benefit where they give in terms of motivation, how many percent directly will they give with frontline workers? God bless you.
Thank you very much. The lady here, yes. And then the next two after that. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Your name is Admayatoye. My question will go for the board always. So my question is, if a student engages in malpractice because of maybe pressure from parents, teachers, and society, so that we will succeed, how una go address the responsibility and rights of we the Pekin? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The lady with the blonde hair and right, and a bit color challenge. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Civic and I dey online as Queen Sufi, and I post everything where they are. My first question is, most time we parents can tell we say, oh, back then we your education system we highly supporting spy. Waiting change from the system back then to where we get right now, because the world is advanced. So why we go back instead of we improve more on how to totally dismiss malpractice and other things the way they bring try to out. Actually tackle them when they bring threat to quality education. And I'll be actually take part of IPAM exams, and actually the system we commendable. Just that we need for add more in ensuring say and bring out what we expect, because that day we will get some of trouble with the system going off, coming on. So there's much, but that's a good one. So to the other aspect, what will they do for tackle all of this? Thank you.
Thank you so much. The final question the lady with the glasses at the back, and then we'll come. We'll see how we do, and then maybe we'll do another round.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This question is going for the Anti-Corruption Commissioner. Yes, sir. So when you were talking, you stated that anti-corruption is not responsible to look at malpractices going around schools during examination. For me, what I believe the roles and responsibility of anti-corruption is to look into these things and know how to implement this embezzlement of all. Because that is misuse of funding. Imagine now a parent paying a teacher to get access to these things. Secondly, to WAEC, how do you justify that? You know, when the question came, you don't know how paper they leak. That is not, you don't even justify. Papers, they come on before you even sit down. Oh, sit down back on the film and so pass. But imagine say paper don't come on, I will go sit down Wednesday, come on Tuesday. They don't study everything, I go sit down back and fail. That is not justified because I don't spy, you understand? I don't study, I don't spy. Say, this question they come, I go see an answer them. But I film me back for that day. And the last question they go to Madam Uri for the digital thing we have to implement. That is fine. Because I actually do an IPAM for ICT, I sit them online. But you know the disadvantage? I will get two phones. The one phone, they provide the answer for me, the other phone I use them for C. So you cannot call that particular implementation credible because some of us are with many machines. And they use the computer for it, I take the phone, I go to IR, I go to implement the answers there. So look into that and know how to increase teacher salary for all of these arguments for them.
All right, excellent. Now this make we organize this town hall. So all these issues will come out, and we as a society go see the kind of society who they can build, and how we all go solve this problem. One of the keynote speakers, I will give 3 minutes for response, and then I will give the other panelists them 2 minutes for response. Okay? So who do I want to go first? 3 minutes each. You want to start? All right. You can use less if you want to be generous, so we can get one.
Thank you very much. I'll start with, I think all the questions I get for do the proposed examination platform. So all the one that asked that question, Mr. Stiller asked about the people in the ND platform, how they say they are not compromised. We just differentially will develop a framework where you get clearly defined roles and responsibilities. You get a platform where different people get different levels of access. So if there's any breach, you know that responsible. And this time, not of us saying a novelty, it's tried and tested in other countries. So we can even learn from their own experience. So we're not reinventing the wheel.
Clean up or stop the 2 phones?
Yes, all Randy. We go up with a regulatory agency. I believe I see somebody from the Sexual Education Commission inside the room. Okay, TC is represented, NCTV is represented. So we go work with the 2 regulatory agencies there in developing that framework, the way we all understand, we own and then implement. And then somebody, the lady with the gray Brazilian, talk about the platform, now IPAM, and then you say it can get glitch. Then we get to expect with technology. Some things are out of our control. And we anticipating when we start something new, there's bound to be teething problems. But then we learn from them and use the lessons learned for scale them up. And to the last speaker, we also talk about exams, now IPAM, ICT. To be honest with you, I'm disappointed because you're publicly accepting that you engage in malpractice. So this is the point I made earlier about it's becoming the norm, not a thing where we for publicly talk about. Somebody make the statement fine. All right, okay, say malpractice, good, when you engage in malpractice, it leads to success. Malpractice is not success. I can tell the students in a commerce for the because you engage in practice. And the first thing now before I think of anything else. So yes, I'm glad you bring up say denting and getting happen. So we go put measures in place for say nobody no go examination not for out phone safe. So now the system will build not online, not for your phone you do exam. Your phone not secure. Now multifunctional ICT spaces there, computers that we don't vet. So you know they're able to get access to the internet for answer questions. Now that system there with the time for bill. Even now when you take exam, you're going with phone and foreign material. You go with phone and foreign material, automatic malpractice done. So we go take all that into consideration and develop a system.
Minister Conrad, you get quite a few comments and questions, so go for it.
Okay, let me to school there. So we developed a new project called Videa. We now for use tablets and for make the teacher do their registration. Then they use their fingerprints for make them do that registration day. And then tablets, then they get GPS coordinates. We mean to say if you do that on the outside of the school, then go see whose side you do that on the. It will then provide a dashboard for the TSC, the ministry, and myself for able to see how teacher they attend that school. If you absent for like 6 terms consecutively, we don't set up a panel where the union self-depend, we're going to say we take care of the payroll. So that's using a digital solution to address that particular problem. And it means to say you don't get human beings that we go where you go pay money and then go left you. The second thing, somebody talk about increase in salary. During the term where this government don't in power, for any teacher where they between scale 6 and under, they don't increase salary by 80%. For the one where they above scale 6, they don't increase salary by 75%. I also know that the Wages and Compensation Commission don't engage the union, and the person where they really chair and they not be the former Secretary General of the union. I don't see who that get perfect for the union or for teacher them better than that person. But I also hear it today that today no my area say they copy me inside one letter. I don't want to talk about that letter today, but they say they copy me, so not me you write to the TSC. But I really say you copy me into it. The second one, they say you visit 5 schools, then get less, they know they do lesson notes, they know they do register, then quality assurance, what they happen to the quality assurance officers. 2 things. Firstly, we just give quality assurance officers the motorbike, we need to say we give them fuel back. So that thing with them they can't tell we say, oh we don't get bikes, we don't get fuel, we don't give all man. You go down the Facebook, you go see what we don't go hand down over. But in addition to that, there is something new where we do now. We leadership group, the senior management group, the new quality assurance director. They present a monthly report where they tell you on every quality assurance officer where they operate now with system. Almost school they visit, almost school they not visit yet. The challenges that will come out of the school they need. So we as a leadership team, we're able to capacitate them, but in addition to that, we monitor them now going forward. The other thing where somebody mentioned is say in the lower levels, beginning within at the lower level, they're smaller than the one that we're doing at the worst class. We're aware of that. We don't try to tackle this problem. Now that make we get the principal and signed the undertaking recently. But even that undertaking, it carries some significant problem. One of the problems that we don't carry it, because we say there is a maximum of 2% absence we go accept. People then go inside the exam, they write the names of the candidates, now the script, and then there is nothing in that script. You know the disadvantage of that? If the candidates not come, now the exam, we know the counter, who they look at performance. The fact that the candidate can't inside the exam, they write his name, that candidate will be inside the exam. We need to say that candidate failed. So when the results come out this time round, una go see say na at what level it go don depress the performance rate. So that na the worst type of crime you can commit. Wetin I think sometimes we school leaders they don't understand, and constantly I dey talk to them, but they no dey understand. The technology wey they use is so advanced. People know whether they are saying the handwriting are the same. So the ability for make we catch you when you dey that kind of nonsense dey, it's very easy. And I don't know one for talk self who side we dey go with that. But we dey wait. The next one at the go pan is this one of conduct, and what else we dey do? I just talk about the wide act of system. What did happen before the exam? So when they put you cast and all that, what did happen during the exam with paper leak and waiting? Now what did happen after the exam? This is a way somebody then go try to change marks and all that. All of that in the white bill their address. But in addition to that, as a town I just know, just before I can this meeting, I get leadership meeting with me. Leadership team, we will go through the TSC Act. And what I don't ask them for do, now for make sure say that act they replicate within the Basic Education Act will pass 2023. But in addition, it also aligns with the WIAC Act. So we tighten up the school for the action level we will take so the law will able to support you. Then talk about the implementation of technology. Before I left the TSC, we introduced the licensure. I remember we go Ghana, we go look at their system. But their system, when I do the exam, now lecturer they go mark the paper. Me, I don't want to lecturer they mark the paper. Because the reason why we introduce the licensure is because we will not be too satisfied with the quality of the people that they come out from the universities. So what we do in Salon, different from Ghana, we make a computer-based assessment, like what in colleague they tell you say they happen at IPAM. So we get a question bank of about 10,000 questions. When you go take the exam, we only take the exam now, we only have your computer or tablet. The questions for me, not even question you answer. And when you click the button, when you submit the Nigeria, don't begin to try for use computer-based assessment for even when they take WIAC exams. And this year, to be honest with you, with a little bit of resources, we go begin to try small. We go use that. Anything will happen, we go one stage ahead. We go and we will be the most digitized examination system as possible with the resources that we get.
Thank you, Minister.
I just want one other thing because I think this has really come quite often. 22%. 22% of the budget are between the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education and Basic Education are with the share that. But let me tell you what's in the big ticket items that new ministry. And they call them the 3 S's. There are salaries for teachers, subsidies for schools, and school feeding. When you look at them 3 that day, it don't take 98% of the budget. So just for us to inform you what will they do with that 22%.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Commissioner.
Well, one question say the question they ask basically if we ACC not involved. The point where I make not to that we ACC not they treat examination malpractice as integrity issue. In fact, we treat that. Inside we act, we get the power for investigate, which includes arrest, detention, and prosecution. And right now, as I speak with you, people are in custody, where they do the indictment, for charge them to court for examination malpractice. So involved. But the point where I don't make clear, and why they know this, we MOU with everybody, almost all the sectors that were there, including the civil society, including WIAC, the ministries. We get with they all, SLTU and all. We not to examination invigilators. Not to responsibility for invigilate public exams. And at that day the public be one turn we into. I don't tell them I say we only become very active. We basically militarize the process
Because at that time, nobody was listening to us. We were basically saying, this examination malpractice, the kind level way they right now, is going to destroy the fabric of this nation if we do not take drastic action. And that's why nobody will pay attention. But then, after the country incident, everybody got our attention. And now, we don't take back seat again. And that back seat, they don't mean saying we're not involved, but we prefer now, let minister refer to we, let Wayek refer to we, let Alfonso refer to we, or the various actors that are refer to we. One time we said we go around for go check within the happen, and then that we roll, and then our responsibility. But for expect say, now we they go for go invigilate examinations. That communicate that to the team as well. We only provide support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kaifala, I want maybe ask you a quick follow-up question on this notion of, I know for say, you get pay, you papa are the teacher, not so?
Yes. Every papa, and they can say, I can enjoy you the work, he said the same, Ben Kaifala hate teachers. No, I don't. My papa, Mr. Ben Kaifala, na the principal na Pendembo Vocational Secondary School, PESS.
Yes, I know this. So, wait till I want to comment on briefly. Now, this notion say people needs in the 80s is somehow inferior to people needs today. It's actually not it's a very common mistake when people want to make. Every generation thinks say your own needs are so unique, superior to the generation we did before. It's a very common mistake anybody can make.
Yeah.
But maybe just comment on that in terms of
we just believe say the conditions have always been there. People always look at teaching. Many actors they don't really see now. But maybe there are other structural issues we need to look at, and the principal made reference to the recruitment, the one that when they come into the profession, how they are coming. How are people becoming principals after 1 year of teaching? Or sometimes directly from university. How are proprietors of schools just getting anybody who is a teacher and putting them into places, and some of them are criminals. So those are all structural issues then we need to look at and then for the.
Thank you very much. Minister, you want to say something quickly on that?
Yes, just very quickly. I don't hear this before. I forget to mention it. So, two things they happen. One, we get a school leadership policy where they go to cabinet in the next cabinet meeting, where they address that issue because we are aware that there is the possibility of that happening if you get private school we then turn into an approved school. So that would be addressed that. But in addition to that, we capacitate the school leaders as well. I have always believed that the biggest way we can spend smart money for education as school leadership. Because the school leader in a set the tone of the school.
There's a lot of evidence on that actually across schools.
So we get some money from the British there. We do a new framework called a competency-based school leadership program. Then they'll train, I think if I'm right, about 4,000. And then we now through MasterCard, we will continue that training day and make sure that they continue for make we get quality school leaders.
Thank you very much. This time I will start on this side. I start with Wayek. You have a few questions. You get 2 minutes quickly.
Thank you very much. I hope the madam will make mention of the president's statement. Of course, now the fourth gentleman of the country, and really make that statement.
Put the mic up small.
I know say the statement don't begin bear fruit. Now we don't get a gathering like this. We are in for know the strategy then we will implement, follow we tap them in and this. Of course, we all know now say an integrity issue. So therefore, we all now we sit down, not to just for clap with one person talk, we get a responsibility. Whether you're a teacher, you're a parent, WAEC officer, minister, we all are parents that we get responsibility for play when we conduct exams. So go na the field and make sure say, you see waiting they happen. Then of course, examination malpractice, we know they condone that. Don't give instance where the commissioner make mention of, I don't make clarification, where me sit down, they catch me down there, I know they above the law. Get evidence against me, present at any side, then go call me, inside them go call me, then from there, then go subject me to questioning. Of course, people that with the right now, with the commissioner don't attest to. So therefore, waiting to assure the general public in say we still they continue for uphold the integrity that institution. I don't know if anybody there will hold past for but over 74 years. If we get anybody in here, so which means say we great people them don't be at the pressure, don't fetch hard for let them maintain them, and we serve now we own regime with the appeal let it be concern to everybody, though we know that jam as we own.
Thank you. Alfonso, 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So firstly, let's look at the MTHE. Well, in terms of the MTHE, they don't do something very important. People then will look at this technical vocational qualification for say now HND will stop. I want people that know so the national qualification framework now they don't make a pathway where if that man said to go get PhD by technical vocational, you said to go get PhD. And now kudos to the ministry. The Ministry of Technical and Higher Education talk about system strengthening, very important. You know, the work well, the only issue we may not keep on a meeting, my guy, but we'll solve that. But the minister, we don't go to the ministry, Madam Ramatsui, don't make a lot of transformation. The scholarship and the issue very transparent. The loan scheme very transparent. I will commend her for that. But the issue of my guy will not be on the same page. Lastly, 3 important short things them. Seconds. 1. Curb this malpractice, the Ministry for implement Section 95 of the Basic Education Act. It say NCRA for give them picking their NIN, that are NIL, compulsory. It say when they don't give them the NIL, Ministry of Education now for give them what they call unique learner ID. So with this system where Conrad they talk so, if that NIL there, you get unique learner ID, you don't know that not inside the school system. It's very easy for pick it up, say this particular person is not inside the school system. This other one for the minister for law appeal to President Bill. The education sector plan they come to an end next month. Will they do the education sector analysis now? This is a frank conversation. Up till now, Ministry of Finance not pull out resources they follow continue that work. And if the education sector analysis when very important for us develop the next plan, it go very bad for let this plan done we can extend that. Now get a new plan, go look at it here. And lastly, the undertaking when minister they talk, I don't put press release. I don't ask several questions. And waiting minister will do Conrad is very good. Because they say some mind from 1, from 2, now 80 picking. When submit no more names for us, now 700. Who say they pull them picking and they? You form 1 data na 100. You form 2 data na 100. As you go no more SSS3, it don't reach 700. So that undertaking minister, the public will give you the credit where you take action. Not so when they sign the undertaking. And the exam done and they expected by now, where for don't tell you, almost picking absent. If you pass 2%, whether they punish them, whether they refer to ACC, or whether they terminate their service.
Thank you very much, presidential candidates. Mary.
Well, I want to thank the Ministry of Civic Education for giving us as children this platform to be in stages that matters to us. It's not only about putting us in the agenda, but also putting us in seats that are taking decisions about us. And then also, I want to say, us as the future generation was, why? We the future generation become Spider Jacksons. We know, we even they boasted that, but let me refrain from such, and let me try to do what is right. And
What they don't become waiting? How many they are talking about? Spider Jackson? Okay. A new terminology then. Good. Yes.
Let me try to refrain from shots, and let me take accountability for your actions, and let me work towards the planning one, because now that's government will push towards quality education for all people. And then also I'm for this opportunity as I then the big platform for also plead with government for budgeting for children's home network, so as we be able to open our schools and for society we can be picking them about examination malpractice and how exam they go. And then also I want to also plead again for funding for the national elections for the children's home network, because we are still a long-term money, and then funding to the Ministry of Gender and Children that we have, so that's we're looking for next elections.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I join in that request. Yes, okay, quickly, please. So I will go to.
Just very quickly, I think Alfonso, if I think say they don't inform me, say Ministry of Finance, they'll give you that incident.
Alas, the bank don't.
Yes.
Don't alert.
The second one is
finance don't perform. I see the minister say.
That's taken in the last delivery clinic, and one of the team will sign off to. So we work on that.
Professor, you don't hear this conversation. I really like your initial analysis reading. So I'll come to you now for based on everything you don't hear. It's not your analysis. They will come to you to teach them. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. Somebody say what that the difference. I mean, we own 10 and they own 10. Well, the guy what they call, I mean, the education system is embedded in the economy. You know not just end, the insulin economy. Yeah. So, for example, and quality education, I say now we don't go to soccer a couple of miles. If I go take 5 gallons of water during the morning for a couple of hours before you go to school, it tire one. No amount of they live in all the way you go do, where you go make that beginning go understand. If you come back, they don't get a book assignment. The light not there for make you do an assignment. You know, the quality education will be affected. And if you get work another 2-3 miles from going to school, it will still affect the quality education. Now make this government in the very wisdom and they observe. The president don't invest heavily in therefore, I mean, with World Bank projects for make sure say when you open you tap, water will come out. So as you go to school, you fresh, you go prepare for receive the delivery.
With the fit in school.
Then it all therefore the amount of investment in energy. Very soon in this country. By the end of this year or very early next year, if you touch your light, that'll be the difference me on time. I go to this. Yeah. So I'll be doing that body home. Where I open the pump, water they come on. Where I put the light on, light they come. Where I go down the street, motor they can, bus they can, I jump inside. So I get enough time to make concentrate on the education. So now, when they come back to that system, and I know say, if you get that kind of material before you go to the class, I mean, your brain will be prepared for see whatever delivery where they get for, deliver. And the government they invest in all of that things they were mentioned.
Thank you so much, sir. Chairman, Conference of Principals. You know, all this conversation, a lot, you've also been doing excellent framing for you. Which are you respond to some of the concerns that we do?
Thank you very much. I go on for as today this is a frank discussion we don't can understand for. I want to sincerely that it's we are in people like we, other people there, so no one know particular sector we will bring on board, we can talk frankly. As I sit down here, the first thing I say, I don't know really whether as a council, so we sit down here, so all the principal there, no subsidy, no aid, not some subsidy, no aid. I don't know how Mr. Anti-Corruption, whether I'm malpractice or not corruption. So I don't know. However, really, Mr. Minister, to be very, very honest, there is a lot of collaboration in the deliveries. As you see, I listen, the Minister, we talk certain changes, radical changes that we don't happen. Consultation by bringing us. The other side, in the 1987, they talk with the jump so Alfonso. We all did it, so that at least we can be able to bring out what's supposed to happen. Remember, a young man talked this night and I say, I think things changes, yeah? And I say, that's what's in the demand now as to the demand first and then it is. That's why I say, this no. Well, that is his own way of thinking it. But integrity goes that far. Integrity goes that far. And integrity now gets to us teachers, as principals, who do not be weird. But you call me now, it's just there. So that's integrity, Professor. Because we think, say, the money they come, we don't say we can't. But we don't say we get certain thing for do, now make the whole executive say go. I go
discuss because nothing we now go cut off, like go along with. So that is why we are here. You understand me? Without no other thing to be. Like I say, the issue of undertakings and all of the other things, we get a very friendly CEO where, you know, they always take we back, always they consult we in whatever thing that we first want to listen to, so that we'll be able to put things into perspective. At least in one man, I think that journalists say, I want high them principle there, because I know one high principles. What I say there is a dichotomy between the principles those times and the principle now. Just like that one guy say, the demands now are plenty. I say, enforce the principle, wait and they go through these stages where we just don't name. My uncle have been an inspector of school. We have been teacher. What do you mean in Sabi? Like I used to say, people have been school people that at the 3-year time, let's just say they retire 3 years, 4 stars as principal editors. These are the people that have been brought into the ministry. When you bring them kind of the ministry, they can retire now by 3 years and 4 years. Which, if they work, let's say, you understand me? When they don't because you study everything at the classroom. That's 2 years, so they can manage the 3 years. You know, go make yourself take it. It's not 2 years, they retire in the ministry now. But tell me how many people now are in the ministries who are squam officers and all of these things? You know, let me hide the thing at the bottom. Sure. Some of them don't even understand some of the things. So they don't go to the schools.
Yeah.
Me uncle be the school where you go sign at the ministry. Now the school now they go work. Now they off. So that you be able to get time for help the teacher on their lesson notes. Check from there you go to all those schools. But
thank
really,
you, sir.
Really, there is go that way now. Well, I don't know. Send that the other way.
Subsidies are not paid. And somebody may ask a question, Mr. Kago, on this code of conduct for teachers and other educational personnel. Luckily, Alfonso will get a copy of an open and just now. Principle 5, he gets work ethics. He says teachers and other education personnel shall not engage in any unprofessional practices such as examination malpractice, favoritism, selling in classroom, bribery, corruption and soliciting gifts, sex for grade.